Maurice Clarett was an aspiring NFL star whose off-field troubles overshadowed his on-field talent. Debt piled up around him, and his name became more associated with scandal than sports. But the most shocking moment came when he was involved in a robbery, a crime that shook the sports world. Maurice Edward Clarett is a former American football player who played as a running back for the Omaha Nighthawks in the United Football League. He made a name for himself in college football with the Ohio State Buckeyes, where he played a key role in leading the team to a national championship during his freshman year. In a surprising move, Clarett was picked by the Denver Broncos on the first day of the 2005 NFL Draft, with the final pick of the third round. Clarett is also known for his unsuccessful attempt to challenge the NFL's draft rules, which require players to be 3 years out of high school. However, his life outside of football was filled with turmoil, including his dismissal from Ohio State, multiple arrests, and time spent in prison. But before we dive into his story, make sure to subscribe. As Clarett's football career crumbled, the troubles off the field quickly piled up. By September, the Miami Herald reported that Clarett was already drowning in debt, owing a staggering $1 million, mostly from legal fees tied to his fight with the NFL and other costs. His financial woes deepened when he made the unusual decision to turn down the traditional signing bonus offered by the Denver Broncos. Instead, Clarett's attorney, David Kenner, pushed for performance incentives in the contract, betting on Clarett becoming a star, a gamble that didn't pay off. But the real storm hit on January 2006, when police announced they were searching for Clarett in connection with 2 armed robberies outside the Opium Lounge dance club in Columbus. According to reports, Clarett, armed with a .45 caliber handgun, robbed 2 people before fleeing in a white SUV with 2 unidentified accomplices. Shockingly, he made off with nothing more than a cell phone worth $150. The timing of the incident was almost surreal, as Clarett turned himself in to police just after 9 p.m. on January 2nd, around the same time that his former team, the Ohio State Buckeyes, was celebrating a victory in the Fiesta Bowl, the very game where Clarett last made headlines as a football star. Clarett now faced serious charges, 2 counts of aggravated robbery. He was released on a $50,000 bond, but the legal troubles were far from over. On February 10, 2006, a grand jury indicted him on additional counts, including gun specifications, raising the stakes to a potential 25-year prison sentence. Clarett's attorneys vigorously denied the allegations, comparing his resolve in fighting the charges to the determination he showed in leading Ohio State to a national championship. On February 22, 2006, Clarett pleaded not guilty to the aggravated robbery charges and was released on $20,000 bail, awaiting trial. But as his legal battle intensified, so did his personal turmoil. On July 26, just weeks before his trial was set to begin, Clarett fired his attorneys, William Satina and Robert Crappens. The move came after the attorneys had filed a motion to withdraw, citing Clarett's failure to pay legal fees or cooperate in his defense. The situation worsened on August 9, 2006. Clarett was arrested early that morning after a high-speed police chase in Columbus, sparked by an illegal U-turn. The chase ended after Clarett drove over a spike strip, and when officers apprehended him, they found a shocking arsenal in his vehicle: a katana, a zanbato, a loaded AK-47 variant, and 2 loaded handguns, along with an open bottle of Grey Goose vodka. Clarett was also wearing Kevlar body armor, and officers had to use mace to subdue him after a taser proved ineffective. Following this arrest, Clarett's bond for the January robbery charges was increased to $1.1 million, and he was ordered to undergo a mental health evaluation. On August 10th, Clarett was arraigned on new charges, and his bond was set at an astronomical $5 million due to concerns that he was a flight risk or might try to intimidate witnesses in his upcoming trial. As his legal troubles mounted, Clarett found himself in even deeper water. On September 18th, he accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to the charges stemming from both the robbery and the August 9 incident. He was sentenced to 7.5 years in prison, with the possibility of early release after 3.5 years. While serving his sentence at the Toledo Correctional Institution, Clarett enrolled in a distance learning program at Ohio University, working towards a degree in geriatrics and gerontology. His efforts paid off, and on April 7, 2010, Judge Fayez granted him early release. Clarett was ordered to spend up to 6 months at Maryhaven, a halfway house in Columbus, as part of his transition back into society. But his story shows how people can truly change for the better. While in prison, Clarett found a way to share his thoughts and experiences with the world through a blog called The Mind of Maurice Clarett. Since he didn't have internet access, Clarett would write his entries and then send them to his girlfriend, who would post them online for him. In one particularly powerful post, Clarett captured his feelings about life behind bars, writing, "Understand my struggle so you can respect my hustle. I am never coming back here, believe that. Never. I am cool on this. It is first-class living from the day I get out. I will never settle for less, ever again." His determination to change was clear. He was committed to improving every aspect of his life, from his relationships to his education, and even the way he traveled. During his 3.5 years in prison, Clarett made a conscious effort to transform his life. This shift in focus helped him turn his life around, and he eventually became a sought-after motivational speaker, using his story to inspire others. In November 2012, Clarett was invited back to Ohio State to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the Buckeyes' undefeated championship season of 2002. This was a significant moment for him, as it marked his reconnection with the school where he had once shined as a football star. After battling depression, Clarett became a vocal advocate for mental health awareness, joining other advocates in August 2013 to promote the expansion of Medicaid in Ohio. He has since spoken at prisons, juvenile detention centers, and youth football camps, sharing his story in the hopes that others won't make the same mistakes he did. Clarett's ties to Ohio State continued to strengthen as he took courses and worked out with current football players. His journey was also featured in the 2013 ESPN 30 for 30 documentary, Youngstown Boys, which included interviews with his family, friends, and those who knew him best. In February 2014, Clarett was invited back to Ohio State as part of a ceremony honoring the national championship team he played on. During this visit, he spoke to an audience of about 500 people at the Archie Griffin Grand Ballroom in the Ohio Union, reflecting on his past troubles, his ongoing rehabilitation, and his efforts to restore his reputation. In 2016, Clarett took his commitment to helping others a step further by founding the Red Zone, a behavioral health agency in Youngstown, Ohio. The agency offers a range of services including mental health support, addiction recovery programs, and school-based social work. The impact of the Red Zone was evident in 2018 when a report from Youngstown City Schools revealed that 283 students who received services from the agency saw their GPA increase by an average of 16.5%. Clarett's commitment to mentoring young athletes led him to work as a consultant for collegiate athletic departments, including the University of Connecticut in 2021. In 2022, Clarett's dedication to his community was recognized when he was appointed to the board of directors of the Youngstown-Warren Regional Chamber of Commerce. He has become a strong voice for criminal justice reform, speaking publicly about his experiences in the system and advocating for change. On February 9, 2022, Clarett's influence and contributions to his community were further acknowledged when he was appointed to the board of directors of the Youngstown-Warren Regional Chamber of Commerce. His story is one of transformation and resilience, as he has turned his life around and dedicated himself to helping others avoid the pitfalls he once faced. Sadly, his career too was filled with disappointment. In a surprising twist, Clarett was selected in the 2005 NFL Draft by the Denver Broncos with the final pick of the 3rd round. This move caught many by surprise, as most experts had predicted Clarett would fall to the 6th or 7th round if he was drafted at all. Publicly stated that they had no plans to draft Clarett. Despite the unexpected selection, Clarett's time with the Broncos quickly turned disappointing. Having not played a game in 2 years or even practiced in over a year, he arrived at training camp weighing 248 pounds, more than 20 pounds heavier than his playing weight. This extra weight, combined with his rustiness, left him struggling to impress the coaches during preseason camp. To make matters worse, Clarett was slow to recover from an injury, further hampering his performance. Despite these setbacks, Clarett managed to sign a 4-year contract with the Broncos on July 28, 2005. However, this was no ordinary deal. Against the advice of his former agents, Steve Feldman and Josh Lukes, Clarett agreed to give up $413,000 in guaranteed money in exchange for a highly incentive-based contract. His reasoning was that if he could rush for 1,000 yards in multiple seasons, the incentives would pay him like a first-round pick. This gamble was risky, but Clarett was confident he could prove himself. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. Clarett's struggles in training camp continued, and his relationship with the coaching staff deteriorated. He never even made it to a preseason game. Just a month after signing his contract, the Broncos released him on waivers on August 28, 2005, before he had played a single down in the NFL. When Clarett was placed on waivers, other teams had a 24-hour window to claim him and take on his contract, but no one showed interest. After that period, he was free to negotiate with any team, but once again, no team came forward. Clarett's NFL career had ended before it even began, marking a sad and swift downfall from his once promising college days. That is it for this one, but if you happen to like NFL legends, make sure to check out our latest videos on our channel NFL Icons. I'm sure you will love it.